What do you want them to know at this moment?
I wish I could bottle up and sell what I felt when I was in the interview on Monday here.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
And yet, here we go. No more Vrabel. Now we have Brian Callahan. This is his first one-on-one through the Tennessee Titans. Before we even get it kicked off, congratulations, Brian, on getting the job. You come from fantastic stock. Your dad is Mr. Bill Callahan, one of the most respected offensive line coaches in the league. Just so you know where he's been, though, he was previously an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at a high school from 2008 to 2009. Shout out 2009. Then he went to Denver for just a 2010 season as the coaching assistant. Came back to Denver in 2011 and 12 as the offensive quality control coach. 13 and 15, he was the Broncos' offensive assistant. Then he moves over to Detroit from 16 to 17 as the quarterback coach. Obviously, then he's working with Stafford. Moves over to the Raiders for 18 as the quarterback coach. Then to the Bengals for 19 to 23 as the OC, and obviously now being hired as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. So without further ado, let's get to it.
All right, that breaking news tonight. After 2 weeks without a head coach, it's looking like a new era for the Tennessee Titans.
We begin with breaking news tonight from St. Thomas Sports Park as the Tennessee Titans announce the hiring of a new head coach.
NFL head coaching news. We've got a spot filled Monday. Tennessee Titans have hired Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan to be their next head coach.
The Tennessee Titans, according to Tom Pelissero.
One thing to think about is, since he is leaving Cincinnati, there is a specific person that is coming available, Mr. T. Higgins. Now, if you really want to go forwards with Will Levis as your quarterback, because they're most likely going to move on from Tannehill, do you bring in T. Higgins to Tennessee to make that happen? 24, dynamic, tall, everything that I would want for my Carolina Panthers, but is there a little bit of a connection there that draws him to Tennessee? Maybe.
Has their guy.
The Tennessee Titans, who have now hired their head coach, Brian Callahan.
The Tennessee Titans are making an excellent hire.
The Tennessee Titans have a new head coach. It is Brian Callahan.
This is the man of the hour, Brian Callahan, new head coach of the Tennessee Titans. What is the aspect of being a head coach that you are most excited about?
Oh, that's a great question. Just the chance, because I believe that I've been capable. I believed in my abilities to lead a group of people, to connect with a group of people. And I think that there's an organization here that feels exactly the same from top to bottom, and that's exciting to me. But that role where I can be the one out front, that I can help bring people together, help connect the team, that's exciting to me. That's what coaching is. It's building those relationships. It's helping develop people.
Why call your own plays?
A lot of reasons. One, I like being involved in the process. That's part of what makes football fun for me, is that.
Before he even finishes, one of the biggest benefits to being the head coach and being also the offensive play caller is most likely what happens to great teams. We'll take, for example, the Bucs. The Bucs had Todd Bowles. He's calling defensive plays, working with the defense more, but of course is involved in the offense. Dave Canales calls the plays. So as soon as the next year, Dave Canales has a good year, they're pretty good in the passing game, you get your offensive coordinator poached. He goes someplace else. Now he's going to go call plays. If the offense goes crazy, the head coach will get the credit, because most of the time, like in this situation, he will most likely still hire an offensive coordinator. That offensive coordinator will not be a play-calling offensive coordinator. For example, Frank Reich during the Super Bowl run. He was not the offensive play caller. It was apparently Doug Peterson, from what I understand. So he's still going to have somebody there to help out with the offense, but he's going to be the one making the decision. I think that's really smart, especially as an offensive coach. You want to basically mitigate, like, you want to come take my OC, that's fine. He's just basically a helper. I'm helping groom him for the future to be a great OC, to maybe be a great head coach one day, but it's going to take time. Develop people, that's good.
Is solving the problems. Two, in today's NFL, everyone's always looking for the next offensive coach. And so just what happened to Zach in Cincinnati, I've left, and nothing changes for Joe Burrow. The system's going to stay the same no matter who you hire. The voice to the quarterback is consistent, and the dream is that Will and I have a partnership for the next 10 years, and he's the person that I hear him every Sunday for the next 10 years. He hears me. The system doesn't change. The verbiage is the same, so the quarterback has a chance to master an offense, and I think that's important because outside of the ownership, the GM, and myself, the next most important relationship in the building is me and him, and it's hard to foster that relationship without being involved in the process. And so I believe in that. I've seen it work. You see coaches around the league doing it, but that's the
Just like I said, man, more coaches are going to be doing it, especially offensive coaches.
biggest reason why is, one, I love doing it, and two, there's another part of that process where we want the system to stay the same, and we don't want to lose it.
Brian, one of the first questions you got in your press conference was about Will.
Yeah.
About Will Levis. And I know you didn't need a quarterback because you got Joe Burrow, but had you done much work on him? So you were aware of it?
I was very familiar, very aware. I watch all the quarterbacks every year just to know. But you see the traits. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's hyper competitive. He can throw the ball all over the field. And then he got some experience this year. And so, like I said in my press conference, the NFL is a bear on young quarterbacks. And so that learning process is critical. And now you get a chance to step back, install a new system while evaluating what did you do well, what can we do better, how do we improve everything about your game going into year two. A large part of that's going to be he's involved in OTAs and training camp as a starting quarterback.
How quickly do you hope to have a staff in place?
Ideally before the combine, which was plenty of time.
If you can't get a staff together by the combine, that's a big problem. I would already pretty much have them handpicked. He's obviously bringing his dad to help out with the line, so that will be invaluable. He's regarded as one of the best line coaches in the league. Hopefully he's pushing that knowledge onto somebody else to continue the legacy. But yeah, you better have a whole staff together. Come on, man.
It has to be done by them, but it could be done sooner. It just depends on how these things move. But we are going to take our time. We're not just going to hire to hire. We're going to interview people. We're going to get some ideas from around the league and talk to guys that maybe I'm not familiar with. And see how we can build the best staff together. There's going to be a combination of veteran coaches, some younger coaches, guys that I've worked with, and I know guys that maybe I don't. And so we're going to try to build the best diversity of thought, and I think that's important on a coaching staff.
Let's wrap up with this. I recently asked Amy Adams-Strunk, at this moment where the franchise is turning in a new direction, what is it important for Titans fans to know? So I ask you.
This is a very interesting one. How he handles this is how Titans fans should be prepared for this season. I'm not going to pull any punches when I say that I'm not a big Will Levis fan. Now, again, I'm also a Panthers fan, so I'm going through my own problems. But I wasn't a Levis fan. I'll give you that. He's got a cannon on him, obviously. Who can you really put around him to really take advantage of that cannon? Obviously, if you can go get Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, you're in business, man. But that's obviously not realistic. So I think you guys really need to look at that wide receiver room more than anything. Obviously, you got to replace Lawan and a few other pieces you've lost. But if he can throw the ball out of the stadium, if you don't have a guy down there to catch it, it doesn't matter. So,
what do you want them to know at this moment?
I wish I could bottle up and sell what I felt when I was in the interview on Monday here. And what I mean by that is the energy from the people that I got to talk to, the excitement about what's to come. You could feel the newness of some of the things that were happening. Obviously, with Rand being here and Chad, and there's just this kind of behind the scenes energy swell that I felt in the interview that said to me, this fits you, you got to be here. And this was like the only place I wanted to go. And that's because I felt that. And I hope, and I know they will eventually, but that the fans feel that, see that, that there's some really awesome times ahead. And I believe that in my core, that we're set up to have a lot of success.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And welcome.
Thank you. Looking forward to working.
Hey, Titans fans, this is exactly what y'all were looking for. This is Mr. Callahan finally ascending to where he needs to be, the head coach position. Again, I think you guys really need to focus on that wide receiver room. You need to get that staff together. You have plenty of opportunities moving forward, especially with Levis, but I do want to leave you with a little bit of pause, we'll say. The Colts. If Anthony Richardson is healthy, it's going to make that division incredibly hard. There's also somebody else that you guys lost the division to as well, C.J. Stroud and the Texans. Now, obviously, the Jags are dealing with their own thing. But again, if T-Law comes out and is firing on all cylinders next year, this could be the strongest division in football. Now, obviously, we have the Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert with the Harbaugh and all that. We have that. But if just a few injuries go a different way, your division is arguably one or two toughest in the league. So, if you want more analysis or breakdowns like this on the regular, make sure to subscribe to the socials below. My name is Nick. I appreciate you rolling with us right here on Roll Coverage. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Peace.